Hello everybody, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. And today I am going to be talking about one of the most versatile players in the world and a true master of the drum kit, the one and only drummer Manu Katche. And since bursting onto the scene in the mid-1980s, Manu Katche has played with a number of great musicians from a variety of different genres of music, from Peter Gabriel to Sting, to Afro Celt Sound System, to Jeff Beck, Meola, Tears for Fears, Simple Minds, Dire Straits, Joni Mitchell, Mike Lindup, Joe Satriani, Loreena McKennitt, Robbie Robertson, Tori Amos, Richard Wright, Kyle Eastwood, The Christians, and of course he was a long-standing member of Jan Garbarek's group. And today I am going to be taking a look at Manu Katche's ECM catalogue of albums, which is a total of 4 solo recordings. And even though Manu Katche has released a number of albums before joining ECM, and he released a couple more after leaving ECM, in my opinion, I would say that Manu Katche's ECM catalogue is some of his best music that he has ever written, and it features some of the most well-known musicians in the world, and they're just absolutely fantastic. Each album is very different, they all have their own identity, but they're equally as fantastic as the other. So as always, I am going to be talking about each album individually, and I'll be choosing which one I think is the best one. So we are going to start with the first album, which was released in 2005, and for me this is probably Manu Katche's best album as a band leader, and the star power on this alone is just worth the price admission, I think. And this is Neighbourhood. So Neighbourhood was released in 2005 and it features an all-star lineup of Thomas Stanko on trumpet, Jan Garbarek on tenor saxophone, Marcin Wasowski on piano, Sławomir Kogorski on bass, and Manu Katche on drums. Unbelievable collection of songs. And as I've said, I'm not normally a fan of trumpet and saxophone together, but when you got Thomas Stanko and Jan Garbarek on your team, you can't go wrong, and they're two of the best players you will ever find in the world. And Manu Katche, he's an unbelievable drummer, and he has a very unique technique where he plays loud but very, very softly, and he's just tremendous, and everybody is just at the top of their game and they sound great. So all compositions are written and composed by Manu Katche. We've got November 99, Number 1, Lullaby, Good Influence, February Sun, No Rush, Lovely Walk, Take Off and Land, Miles Away, and the classic standout track for me, Rose. Brilliant album, and this album was huge, and rightly so, because unbelievable songs, great playing, big name musicians, can't go wrong here. Great team of musicians in my opinion, and quite possibly Manu Katche's best ever for ECM. So there you have it. Neighbourhood. Brilliant album. So we come to the next album, which was released in 2007, and this is a great follow-up, and this is Playground. So the lineup has changed slightly, but still doesn't hurt the music at all. In fact, it just gets better, I think. So Manu Katche is back on drums, Sławomir Kogorski on bass, Marcin Wasowski on piano, Tragiv Syme on tenor and soprano saxophones, Matthias Ike on trumpet, and David Thorn is guested on 2 tracks on guitar. Brilliant album. And Tragiv Syme and Matthias Ike, you know, as I said before, I'm not normally a great fan of saxophone and trumpet together, although I did like what the Brecker brothers did for many years, but these two here make an unbelievable front line and they really sound great together. Sounds almost like a horn section, and you know, it's just great stuff here, and David Thorn just tears it up on guitar here. So we've got Low, Pieces of Emotion, Song for Her, which is for me the best song of the entire album, So Groovy, Morning Joy, Motion Project 58, Snapshot, Possible Thought, Inside Game, Clubbing, and Song for Her Variation. Brilliant follow-up to Neighbourhood. Star power might be severely lacking compared to Garbarek and Stanko, but still great players. Everybody just sounds great here, and the compositions are just beautiful. And Manu Katche is a great composer, and like I said earlier, he knows how to assemble a great band for his projects. So there you have it, Playground. So we come to the next album, which was released in 2010, and the lineup's changed here, but still unbelievable stuff. Third Round. So we've got Tor Brunberg on saxophones. He's a great musician. Jason Rebello on piano and Fender Rhodes. Big name. Pino Palladino on bass. Ooh, another big name. Jacob Young on guitars. Great guitar player. And Cami Lyle on vocals and trumpet. Don't really know a lot about her, but she sounds great on this album. And top-notch bands. You know, when you got Jason Rebello and Pino Palladino on your team, great stuff's going to happen. And Tor Brunberg, he's just a great sax player, and I would love to see him do an album for ECM. He's played on enough ECM albums, but he's never done one, and I'd like to see that change. And of course, Jacob Young, he's done some great stuff on ECM as well. He's a great guitar player. So let's have a quick look at the songs. So we've got Swing Piece, Keep on Tripping, Senses, Being Ben, Une Lame das Ton Sorry. A bit of a mouthful there, but it's a good song. Springtime Dancing, Outtake number 9, Shine and Blue, Stay With You, Flower Skin, and Urban Shadow. All compositions written and composed by Manu Katche, and lyrics are provided by Cami Lyle, who just sounds beautiful on this album. There we go. Yeah, there you are. Brilliant stuff. Not going to go wrong here. So this is it's a good follow-up. It's a bit different, but nonetheless, still a great album. So there you have it. Third Round. Brilliant album. One that I highly recommend. A bit different to the first two, but still classic stuff. So then we come to the next album. This would be the last album that he would release on ECM, and it's a very different kind of album, but still great. This was released in 2012, and this is just simply called Manu Katche, which is a self-titled album. So there's no bass on this album, but doesn't take away anything from the music. So Manu Katche on drums, Jim Watson on piano and Hammond organ, Tor Brunberg back on saxophone and soprano saxophones, and we've got Niels Peter Mollevar on trumpet and loops. Brilliant album. As I said, it's a different kind of album because there's no bass player, but Jim Watson, he plays all the bass lines with his bass pedals and feet, but it's a brilliant album, and he's a great organ player. And Tor Brunberg, he's just tremendous as always on the saxophone. And Niels Peter Mollevar, don't really know too much about him, but he's a great trumpet player, worth checking out, I say. So all compositions are written and composed by Manu Katche. Running After Years, Bliss, Loving You, Walking By Your Side, Imprint, Short Ride, Beat and Bounce, Slowing the Tides, Loose, Dusk on Canon. A good album. I wouldn't say this album is weak, it's just different. It's just a different kind of album, but there's some really good songs on here, and I still think this is worth checking out. And this would be the final album that Manu Katche would release for ECM, because he would leave, and I think he's on the Axe label now, and he released a live album, and I think ECM did release like a ECM Rarium compilation of all 4 of his albums and compiled some of the best songs, but individually, each album is definitely worth checking out. So the best album for me, I've already said it, I'm going to say it again, Neighborhood. Brilliant album. Great collection of songs. No bad songs in sight. In fact, none of the albums have bad songs, but this one, to me, is the standout album for me. And the best track on the entire album is, of course, Rose. But all the other songs are good, like Lovely Walk and Take Off and Land and November 99. They're just brilliant songs. And as I said, Jan Garbarek, Thomas Stanko, Marcin Wasilewski, and Slavomir Kozłowski on bass. You know, you're not going to go wrong there. It's a great collection of talent here, and as I said, Neighborhood is the best album and my favourite as well. So that's it. That's all of Manu Katche's ECM catalogue. My favourite, of course, is Neighbourhood. I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite Manu Katche album? Is it Third Round, Playgrounds, Neighbourhood, or the self-titled? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourites. You know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. So until next time, take care everybody and stay safe. And once again, thanks for listening.